This is the story of 72 Charles Street.
Welcome to the ex-crackhead house. Step 1, have that investigated because somebody broke in to or at least attempted to break in, so I'm waiting for the police. And while that's working out, because that's a crime scene, I'm now going to just sort this floor out and see what I can do not in the kitchen. Woohoo!
As you can tell, I was quite excited. Now, unfortunately, the crackheads that lived here previously had left quite a bit of debt when it came to the house, so I didn't have any electricity or gas when I first moved in, so that needed sorting. So here's the first go through the house of exactly how I found it when I first started. That's my bed that I had to sleep on for a period of time until I could actually assemble my bed upstairs. The kitchen, absolute dire state. This shot actually makes it look nicer than it was, or that plaster was completely useless. The walls had horrible swearing graffiti all over. You can spot the black mould up there, the miscellaneous bits hanging out of the wall. This was one of the better rooms, if you can believe. And this one obviously had the open boiler at the end there. So, yeah, starting off very strong, as you can see. Holes in walls, ruined doors. This is when I started to do a little bit of clean-up, trying to get all of my stuff in. So, you know, obviously looks like a proper tip, but what are we expecting at this point? Obviously that window didn't get fixed for some time. Now this is interesting. So the reason why the back door was like this was because multiple attempts had been made at breaking into the house by the drug dealers that had wanted money off of the crackheads that lived there. But we're continuing on and more stuff going in. Bathroom surprisingly clear.
Step 1, clean the wall. So this wall was absolutely caked in grease. You can still see that there's some grease spots here. But trust me when I say that this was the greasiest wall I've ever seen in my life. You can see all the sanding I've had to do to take it off. And it still has to go over. So tiling step 1 is making sure the surface is clean and dry. Right, and so if you're wondering what I'm using to clean it, it's literally just normal washing up liquid, which has been diluted into a bowl of water. And I'll end up changing this over when it gets too dirty, because obviously what I don't want to do is have a lovely clean wall and then be rinsing it off effectively with some dirty water just to make it dirty again. So this will get changed over a number of times. And it's literally just a case of making sure that you've got a bunch of the cleaning on it, bring it up to where you see some of the spots. So when grease has been painted over like this, it will leave spots where you can just very, very easily see that there was grease underneath them. So I'll give you an example up here. You can see where the grease spots have come out from underneath, and what we do is we just scrub that off and get rid of it. There you go. You can see another one, like another few here. So that all needs to be sorted out as well. So here's another thing I've discovered. When tiles come in packs like this, there's like a line of glue that seems to be present on the tiles. And I can only presume that's to keep them safe from each other from it when they're in transit. So what I do is, to prep them, I take a scraper and I'm going to end up scraping these off. And I don't know if I can actually do this one-handed, but the glue is not it's not on there particularly solidly. There you go. Just scrape that off. You've got a nice clean tile. Okay, so this is clean now. I've rinsed it all down. And I'm going to wait for it to dry.
And then the tiling journey began. I'd never done this before. Brand new tiling effort. It was always going to be just a temporary fix, but I needed to have a nice splashback there, and that's the finished product. Not too bad for first attempt. Now, this was the first major works on the second bedroom, which is going to become our office. We had to literally board over absolutely everything. There's Ian, what a lad, sorting out our room and getting that all plastered and sorted. Look, so much cleaner. The walls obviously look like they come from Silent Hill, so goodbye Silent Hill walls. Ian the lad again. That's it, lovely and drying, just so you can see step by step. Look, you can see it really coming together. Then we got a builder in to just build a box around that for a little cupboard, just to hide it. That's my now husband sorting out the floor there and laying it. Beautiful, beautiful floor. One of the best jobs we did actually was that room. Just having all the extra stuff put in. This is the computer setup, so obviously still a bit messy, but just see that gorgeous floor. Well done. And this is the final setup, and it serviced us very well. Lots and lots of space, very roomy. And it was around this time that Loki came to come stay with us, and he's still with us now, 4 years later. Settling in. Loves to bake his biscuits, does our Lokes. He still does now. Oh, look at him. Happy lad. Then the next job was to try and sort out the insulation in the roof. So you can see here, this is my now husband Ed being the roof gremlin. It was an absolutely disgusting day, and this was the final lovely warm thing. The next job on the list was to sort out the room that was originally my office and to get it into the kids' room. And I don't have any work in progress shots here, just the end result, which I think was lovely. Kids loved their room. We loved their room. That was a really nice soft carpet that we got a good deal on that.
Yeah, no.
And it was around this time that we got two rats called Shadow and Ratigan. You can kind of see their tails there.
Go that way.
Where is he? Where is he? He is trying desperately to stay in your top. And there he is. Hello.
That's Ratigan. Look at him.
Loving the wall.
There they are. Bless them, they're both dead now. Unfortunately, rats don't have that long a lifespan, but they had a lovely life while we had them. So this is just to show you the work in progress of sorting out. So we ripped up the flooring, started to clean the tiles that were there. We considered restoring the tiles, removing that horrible unit, and then we had to rebuild the little wall there, which is what my husband did. He did a great job. And we picked a beautiful, lovely yellow that I would hands down have again. Just a really welcoming colour. So this is it all sorted. You can see that everything's been plastered. We painted the whole thing white. It was so tall, there was absolutely no way we were going to be able to put a colour up those walls, so just left it white for ease of use. And this is the final product of that little entryway. Now next was our main bedroom. This is where the black mould was. So cleaned up the black mould, had it all replastered again. Nice fresh paint here. Sorted out the radiator and everything, new carpet, and absolutely looks gorgeous. It was very homely and warm compared to what it used to be like. When I first moved in, it was so cold that I could see my breath in the house. Then we realised when we were doing the bathroom that we needed to rip out the window because you've got a big double window there, and we were going to move over to a single small window. So we actually had to get rid of the other one in the bedroom. So next up was the bathroom, and we completely changed the layout of the bathroom to this, where the bath was shunted up towards the end. I didn't get that many good shots of it, but it was a really lovely functional family bathroom. Next on the list was getting that front room done and getting the hole, which I'd like to describe as the fireplace, but it wasn't really a fireplace. It was just a hole to nothing. So that's us getting it sorted and painted, trying to get over that blue, because that was impossible to paint over. This is putting in the lovely grey that we got on sale at B&Q in the leftover paints bin. So we did this on a budget as well. That wall was an absolute bugger. And this is us reassembling the front room again. And this is what it ends up like here. Lovely, airy, and bright. This is what we used to call the dungeon, and you can see why. The next on the list was to try and get this toilet to be functional, because when I moved in, it was not. So first of all, we had to remove absolutely everything in here. We realised that trying to patch up that back bit was not going to happen. So with our new wall building skills, my husband went in and sorted out a little partition wall to plonk all of the stuff in, and it worked an absolute treat. Here's the final version of the toilet, and the cleaned up version of the little utility area. So it went from a dungeon to something not a dungeon. And the wall building continues. We realised that we needed to really get rid of that open unit with all of the fuses in and the switches. We needed to do something about it, but it was dead space anyway, that whole area. So we thought, yeah, let's build a wall. So that's exactly what we did. Built a wall, and honestly, it felt like it was there forever. Now, this was outside of the house. It was destroyed. The render was ruined, so we had to do something about that. Otherwise, we were never going to be able to sell it. So there's my poor husband ruining his arms, removing the end of the render. We then painted over it with masonry paint and ended up with a snazzy-looking front of the house and not an ex-crackhead house. A respectable house. So here's all the before and after, so you can see exactly what it looked like. This is the before and the after. Front room before. Doesn't look too bad, but look at that after. Much better. Kitchen. Now this is something we didn't actually fully replace. I just did a sort of a mini botch job on it to sort of brighten it up, and I think I did it. I think I succeeded. And we've got the entry hall and the stairs just there, and then after, look, all that lovely space, loads of space to hang stuff, loads of space for shoes. The hallway upstairs before and after, clean, right. And looking down the stairs, I cannot tell you how tall that is. It was so tall. Right, main bedroom, first bedroom before, and this isn't quite exactly the after. For some reason I did not get a final shot of the bedroom all put together, so you would just have to imagine it, how beautiful it looked. This is the second bedroom before and second bedroom after. Third bedroom / office before and after. Obviously, you've seen the footage of all the stuff in there. Bathroom before and bathroom after. Lovely family bathroom there. Loved it. And you just got the front of the final front. Overall, it would cost us about 15 grand.